Hello everyone, this is Sam, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Lunar New Year in 2020. This is the Year of the Rat, and for the first time since a very long while, our internet has made some substantial changes to what became the most profitable event of the year. Now, not all of these changes are good, and in order to give you guys an idea of what has happened, I'm going to be going over the 5 key differences since the previous edition of this festival, and you will be hearing them after the intro. Now, the best way for us to have a look at what has changed in the event is to head over to the patch notes as usual. I think that the number one change that we should talk about is this one. The number of Divine Lucky envelopes that can be purchased per day has been reduced from 16 to 8. However, the 8 additional Divine Lucky envelopes can be purchased at a reduced price by earning tokens of the Celestial Champions, which drop blah blah blah. Basically, you get these for doing events or for doing your dailies. Now, what this changes is that we're gonna have a much smaller supply of the Lunar New Year envelopes. What that means specifically for us is that people who, like me, have a lot of alt accounts and prepared on making bank on this event are not going to be making as much as they initially planned, and for the player base as a whole, this is going to mean that for all the people who won't be arsed doing their dailies or the events, we're going to have half the supply of the envelopes. This means that whatever is in the envelopes is going to be undersupplied compared to the previous years. What I'm hinting at is that this is not exactly the Year of the Rat, but probably the Year of the Rice Bowl instead. The second thing that I am very interested in is the one that I have just highlighted. A new weekly vendor has arrived in Divinity's Reach for the festival, trading limited supply of rare goods for exotic tier essences of luck. What this means specifically is that we have another opportunity to spend our essences of luck compared to what we would do in the previous year, which was simply going to Drubert and exchanging the essences of luck to go towards the achievement that would give us some lanterns that we would then sell for gold. That is actually very long-winded, but what it means overall is that instead of getting a few silver for your essences of luck, you now have the opportunity on a weekly basis, though, to exchange them for much more valuable items. And now I'm going to be heading over into the game to show you guys where this vendor is and what you can get from him. Very simply, you can head over to Divinity's Reach, and it is this vendor over here. You can exchange your exotic essences of luck for whichever items they offer on a weekly basis. Personally, I think that the Turin exchange voucher would be the overall most desirable item, because the Mystic Clover being exchanged for 10 essences of luck mean very little to me, and should also mean very little to you, because there are otherwise better ways to use your essences of luck than on Mystic Clovers that you can also get from Fractals or for PvP. Now, the chest of legendary shards you can also buy by using your laurels, and I'm not quite sure that your essence of luck is best spent on this. Indeed, the Turin voucher seems to be the best choice for me, and that's the one I will go for. Now, the first thing we can talk about is the update to the Black Lion chest. As usual, when a new festival comes around, they update the Black Lion chest to include some new items that weren't there previously, or to make some other items return. If we go over to the trading post and have a look at the Black Lion chest, we can preview it to see what changed. The Year of the Rat chest, in my opinion, has one very interesting item, and that is the Black Lion exclusive mount selection. If you choose to preview this one as well, you can see that these are all the Black Lion exclusive mount skins. The ones that you would otherwise have to spend money for in the gem store have now been added to the Black Lion chest, which means that if you want to spend some gems on keys and open some Black Lion chests for the contents they have overall, now is a good time for it. On top of having the Black Lion exclusive mount selection available in this chest, the Black Lion chest of the Lunar New Year is one of the most profitable ones, as you get extra envelopes from them, and the envelopes, despite having been nerfed this year around, still have some very valuable items. When I'm saying that they got nerfed this year around, it is because truthfully they really did get nerfed. If we go to the vendor over here, on top of the fact that I can only buy 8 of the envelopes, there is also the fact that if I preview them, we can see that in the rare category we have many more individual choices when previously it was mostly centered around the ornamental golden trophy. This means that if you are lucky enough to strike into the rare loot table, you're not necessarily gonna land onto the ornamental golden trophy as often as last year, unless they did actually think about the drop rates when they designed this new chest, but I doubt that. Of course, if you are hesitating whether or not to open or sell on a trade post or anything of the such, keep an eye out on Reddit, because there are gonna be some people who will do mass openings of the Divine Lucky envelopes and will be able to tell you whether or not it is worth it for you to do so. Now the fourth point that I wish to talk about is an addition to the festival achievements that we got this year around. In the festival tab of your achievement panel, you can go to the New Year's custom and scroll down to the best wishes for the new year. In here, you have a shining aureate weapon chest, and this is the specific addition to the achievements of this year around. This is something to work towards that is not gonna be a gold sink to you, and instead be an opportunity for you to get some extra skins at no added cost or effort. Now, speaking about the achievements, still in the customs, the annual reward is gonna be a pair of spolders. This requires, however, that you complete a series of specific annual achievements. In my opinion, these are not particularly complicated to do and are definitely achievable by people who can only log in for a few dozen minutes a day. I'm gonna be probably working on these on a live stream. Still talking about the differences compared to last year, I think that the fifth point should actually be the addition of something that Aaron has worked on, and that is a new form of event which they call the challenge. If you head over to this NPC over here, you get to enter a specific series of events, and the way it has been designed is rather interesting. The more events you complete, the better the rewards you're supposed to get at the end of the series of events, and this actually means that this event is sort of rewarding to players, because the more effort you put in, the better the reward. However, knowing Aaron and Annette, I do believe rather strongly that the reward doesn't exactly match something that you could get in another area of the game, and as such doesn't really represent an incentive to try hard in this so-called challenge. Instead, I think that people are going to be enticed to AFKing in that event in a way that they will get the rewards without necessarily putting in any form of effort. Finally, one last point, which we are going to call the extra in our difference video, is the addition of one single item to a vendor that was already here before. That's why I didn't quite make the cut for the 5 points, but you get here the mini essence of luck. This is tradable on the trading post and costs you a whopping 88 gold on top of 250 essences of luck, that's to say a stack. Some people are already selling these on the trading post at a complete loss, and I think that if you want to grab it, you have no reason to buy it on the trading post, as buying it from the vendor is gonna be way cheaper. If you're worried about not being able to get the essences of luck, you can just salvage some Ectos and you'll get there in no time at all. Now this is gonna be it for this video covering the 5 key differences between this edition of the Lunar New Year compared to the previous one. These were of course my own opinions and you're not necessarily supposed to share them, but yet I think that I went over what truly was interesting this year around. If you have any questions or wish to add something, you're more than welcome to do so in the comment section. And if you like this video, please do show it by hitting the like button or by, who knows, subscribing for some future content. I am now almost done with the budgeting season at work, which means that I will have much more time to be creating content and reviving my Twitch channel. If you wish to get in touch with me, you can do so on the social media links that are in the description, or just hit me up on Discord where I'm most available. And now I wish every single one of you some happy trading and to get rich.